The sun beats down, each ray burning my exposed skin as I stagger forward. My throat feels like sandpaper. My tongue swells and feels useless. I check my phone again, one flickering signal bar that vanishes like a mirage. Please? I whisper to nobody in the vast Arizona emptiness. Please connect. I press the emergency call button for the 5th time. The call drops immediately. Again. 45 minutes earlier, life had been ordinary. Bella and I were driving back from Tucson. The air conditioning strained against the heat. Odessa. I think something's wrong with the tire, Bella had said casually. Can you check it? I thought I heard something. I pulled over without question. The dependable sister. I bent to inspect the front tire, which looked fine. 10 seconds later, the engine revved. Dust exploded around me as Bella sped away, her face a blur behind the windshield. I froze, unable to process what I'd just seen. My sister had abandoned me in the desert. I stumble over a rock and catch myself. The memory of the papers I found in Dad's study last week feels hotter than the sun. College tuition receipts for Bella. Thousands of dollars neatly filed while I worked double shifts at Rosie's Diner to pay for community college. 7 years of waitressing, saving every tip. Working holidays and nights so I could buy that used Chevy, my car, my freedom, my only real possession. Just until you're on your feet, Bella said the first time she borrowed it without asking. The second time, the 10th. 3 nights ago, I finally spoke up at dinner, palms flat on the table. I'm selling the car. I got a job offer in Phoenix. Silence fell. Dad's face hardened. That's the family car, Odessa. Not a question. I clutched the registration like a shield. It's in my name, I said. I paid for it. You know family comes first, Mom replied, tears in her eyes. After everything we've done for you. The refrain I'd lived with since childhood, when Bella went to summer camp while I stayed home. When Bella got new clothes while I wore hand-me-downs. When Bella's college was paid for and I worked and studied. Something inside me shifted. A lifetime of bending until I nearly broke. Now the desert stretches around me, scrubland and cacti, no sign of civilization. My phone shows no service. All those years spent building independence, and here I am, fully dependent on a passing stranger's mercy. My foot catches. I fall, palms scraping the rough ground, tasting blood as I push myself up. Legs tremble with exhaustion. Family comes first, rings in my head, but after today, I decide to redefine family. If I survive and return to civilization, nothing will be the same. I will no longer be Odessa who gives until there's nothing left. The registration papers are still in my wallet, pressed to my hip as I walk. My car, my life, my choice. Step by step, I move on. The horizon shimmers, but I keep going, believing something better waits beyond this desert, believing someone will help, believing I'm worth saving. 3 miles later, I finally catch a signal. I dial 911 and ask for help. 10 minutes after calling, police and emergency services arrive, treat my wounds, and take me to the nearest station. At Thrustayan, Officer Wilson's hand on my shoulder is steady, the first kindness in hours. His cruiser's air conditioning cools my sunburned skin as he offers a bottle of water. Ma'am, abandoning someone in the desert is a serious offense, he says, firm but gentle. Your sister could face criminal charges. I drink and try to find words. She just left me there. The phrase sounds thin against the betrayal. Miss Matthews, this wasn't just reckless. Officer Wilson taps his computer screen. Your sister has 3 prior charges for reckless driving, all paid for by your parents. My hand stops mid-sip. What? He turns the screen toward me, and there it is, Bella's name, 3 separate incidents. Fines over $2,000, each marked PAD, how did I not know? The words escape my lips, more to myself than to him. Families keep secrets, he says, watching me closely, especially when money is involved. My phone buzzes in the cup holder. I'd barely managed enough battery to call for help when a trucker spotted me on the roadside. Now, 3 missed calls from Mom, 5 from Dad, and a single text from Bella. They're panicking. Just come home. We can fix this. Suddenly, a flood of messages appears. My mom accidentally added me to a group chat I had never seen. Scrolling upward, I see their plan unfold. She's being stubborn about the car. We need to teach her a lesson. My stomach twists. I scroll further. Dad, don't do anything drastic. Mom, just make sure the car stays in the family. If she can't sell it, she can't leave. Bella, I'll handle it. She'll realize she needs us. My hands shake. Officer Wilson notices. Miss Matthews? Are you all right? They planned it, I whisper, turning the screen toward him. They wanted to strand me. His expression hardens. This changes things. This is premeditated, abandonment and unauthorized use of a vehicle. I close my eyes, memories pressing in. The family loans, $500 for Bella's spring break, $300 for her phone bill after she spent her money on concerts. My account always near zero, drained by their demands. I kept every receipt, I murmur, every bank statement. I didn't even know why. That was smart, Wilson says, typing quickly. Documentation is critical in cases like this. Cases? The word feels strange. Financial exploitation often comes with emotional abuse, he explains plainly. Your registration and insurance, are they in your name? I nod, pulling the worn papers from my wallet. I'd like to introduce you to someone, he says, starting the cruiser. Judge Martin. He comes to your diner often, yes? He offers free legal consultations. My 7-year temporary waitressing job flashes through my mind. The manager position I turned down last fall. The night classes I dropped to drive Bella around. I have a friend, I say suddenly. Jackie from work. She mentioned her spare room. Wilson nods. Good. Don't go back there tonight. My phone buzzes again. Dad calling. I silence it. We'll need to recover your car, Wilson continues. I can escort you tomorrow. The thought of facing them makes me nauseous, but I square my shoulders. Tonight. I want my car tonight. An hour later, we pull into my parents' driveway. My Chevy sits in its usual spot, coated with desert dust. Jackie waits in her Honda at the curb, a quiet promise of safety. Mom rushes to the door, tears already staged. Odessa. Thank goodness you're safe. We've been so worried. Dad stands behind her, arms crossed. Bella lingers in the hallway, unreadable. Miss Isabella Matthews. Officer Wilson's voice carries authority I've never had. I need to speak with you about abandoning your sister in a dangerous situation. It was just a misunderstanding. Mom cuts in, reaching for me. I step back. We have the text messages, Mrs. Matthews. Wilson says evenly. Her face pales. I'm taking my car, I say, voice steady despite my trembling. And my things. You can't just... Dad begins. Actually, sir, she can, Wilson interrupts. The car is registered in her name. Using it without her consent is a criminal offense. Bella steps forward, tears welling. Odessa, I'm sorry. I didn't think... Save it. I cut her off. The nickname I once loved now sounding like an insult. I'd seen the texts. 10 minutes later, one small suitcase in hand, I walk to my car, fingers shaking as I unlock it. Officer Wilson watches while I load my essentials into the back seat. Clothes, documents, the small lockbox with my savings passbook. When I sit behind the wheel, I clutch the steering wheel like it's a lifeline. In the rearview mirror, my family stands frozen in the doorway, their perfect mask finally slipping under Officer Wilson's pressure. I drive away, following Jackie's taillights toward a future that suddenly belongs only to me. 2 weeks after I move in with my friend, the whispers follow me like a shadow through Martha's diner. They stick to the worn vinyl booths where I've served meatloaf specials and apple pie a la mode for 7 years. Did you hear about poor Marianne's daughter? Mrs. Caldwell calls from table 8, loud enough for me to overhear as I refill coffee mugs. Apparently she left home without a word, having some sort of breakdown. I steady the pot, knuckles white around the handle. Keep pouring. Well, after what happened in the desert, someone else says in a lowered theatrical voice. Frank at the sheriff's office says Bella's story checks out. The girl's been unstable for months. Coffee splashes near Mr. Henderson's newspaper. He looks up with a smile that doesn't reach his eyes. The diner suddenly feels too small and the air too thick. 2 weeks since the desert, since Officer Wilson took me to Jackie's apartment with my rescued car, and 2 weeks of my mother's carefully spread stories through our town of 8,000. More cream, please, Mr. Henderson says, studying my face a beat too long. I nod and step back to the counter where Jackie runs the register, her eyes tracking me with concern. Vultures, she mutters. All of them. The bell above the door jingles. My father enters, Sunday suit pressed and immaculate at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. Conversation stops. Forks hover. Every eye turns to this public performance. Odessa, his voice carries the authority he's always used on me. Your mother hasn't slept since you left. 7 customers, 3 waitresses, and Martha all pretend not to listen. I shrink inward, the familiar posture I take in his presence. We need to talk. In private. He scans the diner and narrows his eyes, then returns his gaze to me. This isn't like you, Odessa. We raised you better than this. Better than what, I want to ask, but the words escape before I can stop them. My jaw tightens. Your mother is heartbroken. Part of me, trained to be dutiful, feels obliged. We can discuss it at home, where you belong. The word lands like a blow. Home. The house where my room was bare while Bella's overflowed with keepsakes. Where my paychecks vanished into emergencies that always centered on my sister. My home is with Jackie right now, I say. His eyes harden. Family stands by family, Odessa Lynn. I meet his stare. They do. The diner bell rings again. Bella enters, eyes red and puffy, her practiced vulnerability immediately winning sympathy. The sister who left me in the desert now plays the repentant figure in a pale blue sundress. Odessa, she whispers, voice cracking on cue. Please. She moves slowly, aware of the audience. My regulars watching the Matthews family drama between the lunch and dinner rush. I've been trying to call you, she says, tears falling. I know what I did was terrible. I was scared and stupid. I didn't think. I say nothing, feeling the pressure to perform forgiveness. The script demands the generous older sister embracing the prodigal younger one. I've been seeing someone, Bella adds, voice small. A therapist. I have issues with jealousy, because you have things I don't. Mr. Robertson at the counter nods approvingly. Mrs. Caldwell dabs at her eyes. Please come home, Bella finishes, reaching for my hand. Mom needs you. Dad needs you. I need you. 7 years waiting tables have taught me to read people. This display isn't for me. It's for the room. For the whispers that will follow. Did you see how she begged for forgiveness while her sister just stood there like a stone? I'm grateful she's getting help, I say at last, stepping back from her hand. But I can't come home right now. Dad's face darkens. Your mother, I interrupt before I can stop myself, surprised at the firmness in my voice. I'm a grown woman. I can manage. I need the car, Dad says quietly, measured. We've been making payments on it. A laugh slips out, sharp and unexpected. No, Dad, you haven't. I reach under the counter for my bag and pull out a worn folder I've carried since the desert. Its weight in my hand steadies me. I've kept everything, I say, opening it to reveal 7 years of neatly stacked receipts. Every shift, every tip, every payment, documented. The look on his face makes every late night worth it. The hours at Jackie's table, the paper cuts, the lessons with Judge Martin on financial manipulation and documentation. This is absurd, Dad stammers. We're your family. Yes, I reply softly, closing the folder, and this is my boundary. The diner falls silent. Jackie steps beside me, solid as a wall. From behind the counter, Martha speaks firmly. I think you should leave. Odessa has customers waiting. Dad's face flushes. Bella's tears vanish quickly once she realizes her act has failed. This isn't over, Dad mutters. Actually, I say steady, it is. When they're gone, Martha places a hand on my shoulder. Take 10 minutes. Table 12 needs coffee. In the back hallway, my heart pounds against my ribs. My phone buzzes. Officer Wilson, you safe? I text back, yes, they came to the diner. I'm okay. Another buzz. Judge Martin. My daughter Sarah has a room opening in her duplex. $650, utilities included. Interested? I stare at the screen, at the possibility of walls that belong only to me. My hands tremble as I open the paralegal course website Judge Martin showed me. The application deadline is tomorrow. Classes fit around my diner shifts. For the first time since the desert, I imagine a life beyond whispers and obligations. A life where no is enough. I type back, very interested. When can I see it? 10 minutes later, I return to the diner, coffee pot in hand. Mrs. Caldwell and her friend stop talking as I approach. More coffee? My voice doesn't waver. Mrs. Caldwell studies me. Your poor mother called this morning. She's beside herself. I pour to the rim, no spill. That's between her and her therapist, I think silently. Her mouth opens, then closes. I move to the next table. Something new inside me. Not quite peace, not quite power, but close to both. A week later, I return to my family's house to collect the last of my things. A police cruiser waits at the curb, Officer Wilson standing guard. Need anything else inside, Miss Matthews? He asks. Just one more thing. The house feels smaller, foreign. In my stripped bedroom, I run my fingers along the windowsill where I once dreamed of leaving. Mom appears in the doorway, her face arranged in practiced guilt. Odessa, please. We can talk like adults. I walk past without a word. Your father hasn't slept since you left, she calls. Is this what you wanted? The words slide off me. Silence is a language she cannot bend. In the living room, Dad paces while Bella watches, mascara smudged. That car contains personal gifts I bought, Bella says. I should at least get them back. I meet her eyes. Itemize them. Send Officer Wilson the receipts. We both know none exist. Outside, I sink into Jackie's passenger seat. Through the windshield, I watch 3 figures framed in the doorway, powerless without my part in their script. Done? Jackie asks. Done. 40 minutes later, I sit cross-legged on Jackie's floor, laptop on my knees. With one click, the car listing goes live, priced to sell quickly. I create a new email, separating myself from the identity my family controlled. That night, Dad calls. I silence it. Another number added to the pile of ignored threats. Jackie appears with 2 mugs of coffee. Your dad tried telling the landlord you're a rental risk. Mr. Grayson reminded him he's known you since you were 16 and maybe he should worry about his own credit score. She grins. Small towns cut both ways. My phone lights again. Mom, emergency room. Please call. It's serious. 10 minutes pass. 20. My hands shake with old instinct, but I keep typing job applications. An hour later, a text from my cousin. For your information, your mom's fine. Playing bridge at Aunt Linda's, thought you should know. The knot in my stomach eases. Another test failed. Morning brings allies. Regular customers close ranks around me after Bella's Facebook theatrics fell flat. Mrs. Abernathy catches my hand between coffee refills, her weathered eyes steady. I heard about that post your sister made on social media, she says. Don't worry. We clarified the truth during Bible study. A few days later, the pastor's wife asks directly about my desert ordeal while Bella stands frozen at the pharmacy counter. Officer Wilson brings up the abandonment case at the hardware store where Dad shops for his fishing gear. Judge Martin speaks quietly with our church elders about troubling family patterns after Sunday. Service, the town's hidden communication network once used against me, now carries a different message. Then, one Monday morning, my phone chimes with an email. The car sold, full asking price, cash, pickup tomorrow. My ticket to Phoenix finally real. 30 minutes later, a court clerk calls. Miss Matthews, your restraining order hearing has been moved up. Judge Franklin reviewed the evidence, including the past driving incidents. It's approved. I hang up, my hands steady for the first time in weeks. 2 hours later, another call. My potential employer in Phoenix. "We'd like to offer you the position," the HR director says. "In fact, we can offer a bit more than the salary we discussed." That evening, Dad calls from an unfamiliar number. His voice lacks its usual authority. "We should negotiate," he says, the word awkward in his mouth. "Find some arrangement that works for everyone." I watch the sunset from Jackie's kitchen window. The same Arizona sky that saw my abandonment now witnesses my renewal. "There's nothing to negotiate," I answer quietly. "I'm not asking for anything from you anymore." I end the call as Mom's church friend Elaine texts, "Thinking of you. Missed your mother at the fundraiser tonight." Several people ask questions. Their world shrinks as mine expands. The balance is finally restored. A week later, on Tuesday afternoon after finishing my shift, a letter trembles in my hand. The handwriting is unmistakably Mrs. Pearson's, our family friend of 20 years. "Your father's heart condition has worsened under stress. The doctor says family healing is critical to his recovery. Your mother promises things will be different now. Please come for one last family dinner before you leave, Thursday at 6. I fold the letter along its creases and slip it into my pocket. The old weight of manipulation settles in, but it no longer controls me. I call the doctor to check on my father's condition. He confirms he hasn't seen Dad in months. "You don't have to go," Jackie says from the couch, her feet propped on a table covered in paralegal textbooks. "That's the thing about boundaries. You get to enforce them." "I know," I say, zipping my overnight bag. Phoenix awaits, new job, new apartment, new life. But first I need this, for me. Jackie twirls her car keys. "I'll wait outside." First sign of trouble, I'm coming in with air horns and confetti. I nod and finalize my packing. On Thursday evening, the drive to my childhood home passes in silence. Each landmark, the diner where I worked double shifts, the bank where I saved every tip, the high school where Bella was homecoming queen while I worked weekends, feels like closing chapters of a book I've already finished. Jackie parks across the street. "You've got this," she says, squeezing my hand. "Remember what Judge Martin told you. Don't respond to emotional manipulation. Stick to facts." I recite my mantra. And I deserve peace. The house looks smaller now. The front door opens before I reach it. My mother appears with open arms, wearing the yellow cardigan she reserves for church and family photos. "Odessa," she whispers, voice heavy with rehearsed emotion. "You came." I step past her embrace, closure, not reconciliation. The dining room is staged with calculated nostalgia. My father sits at the head of the table, his face masked with concern. Bella takes her usual seat at his right, her eyes red and nervous. My childhood favorites crowd the table: fried chicken, mashed potatoes, green bean casserole. Photo albums are arranged by the centerpiece. A prescription bottle sits noticeably near Dad's glass. "Sit down, Odessa," Dad says, gesturing to my old spot. "Family dinner isn't complete without everyone." I remain standing, holding the folder I brought. "How's your heart condition, Dad?" His hand reflexively touches his chest. "The doctor says stress is the main factor." "Interesting," I reply, setting the folder on the table. "Because Dr. Winters told me he hasn't seen you in 8 months. Your last checkup showed no heart issues." The silence spreads like desert heat. Dad recovers first. "Blood is thicker than water, Odessa. Whatever issues we've had..." "That's not the correct quote," I cut in. "The full saying is, the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. It means chosen relationships are stronger than forced family ties." Bella blurts out, tears falling. "I was jealous of your independence, the way you knew what you wanted." "I'm sorry about the desert. I didn't come for apologies," I interrupt, opening the folder. "I came to understand why." One by one, I spread out my evidence. A childhood calendar, color-coded with Bella's activities and my chores, bank statements showing thousands spent on her while I worked, psychology articles on the golden child and scapegoat roles, Passages highlighted under the dining room light. What is this? My mother asks, her voice unsteady. Documentation, I reply, tapping the folder. Every missed school event because I had to stay home. Every time my car was taken without asking. Every so-called emergency that always coincided with my job interviews. Dad's face darkens. You kept records? Against your own family? I kept records because no one else acknowledged my reality, I say, my voice steady even to myself. I needed proof that I wasn't imagining it. My mother rises, hands trembling. After all we've done for you. That's the problem, I respond firmly. You never saw what I did for you. The extra shifts. The canceled plans. The dreams I gave up. You called it family duty when it benefited you, and selfishness when it benefited me. Bella reaches across the table for my hand. I step back. I'm not here for reconciliation, I say, meeting their eyes. I'm here for closure. I release you from any obligation to me, and myself from any obligation to you. I place my house key on the table. The brass key that once meant home now symbolizes a door I choose to close. What about Christmas? Thanksgiving? My mother asks softly. I'll spend them with people who respect my boundaries. I gather the documents and slide them back into the folder with calm precision. I wish you healing. All of you. My father rises, anger overtaking his careful display of concern. If you walk out that door, you'll what? I ask, my voice steady, more curious than afraid. Leave me stranded? Take my car? Question my value again? You've already done your worst. Bella hides her face in her hands, sobbing. My mother clutches her cardigan, and my father looms above us, furious but powerless. This should break me. Instead, I feel light. Goodbye, I say softly. I leave without tears or theatrics, closing the door gently, as if sealing the past. Outside, the night air fills my lungs, carrying with it the weight of freedom. Jackie waits in her car, window down. You did it, she says, her hand resting warmly on my shoulder. I did. I glance back at the house one last time. Now I can begin. We drive forward, leaving behind what was never mine, heading toward what could be. For the first time in 25 years, my shoulders carry only my own burdens. 6 months later, sunlight pours through thin curtains, painting golden patterns across my small Phoenix apartment. I run my fingers across a paralegal textbook on my desk, highlighted pages turning dense text into steps toward a future I've chosen. Above me, my first office paycheck, still in its envelope, hangs pinned to a corkboard, solid proof that the years at Rosie's Diner are behind me. Before calling the phone company, I breathe deeply, twice. I'd like to change my number permanently, I tell the representative, my voice calm. Would you like to notify anyone of the change? She asks. No, thank you. The quiet click when I hang up feels monumental. 6 months later, I'm driving a used Honda I bought myself. Reliable. Mine. The wheel feels different in my hands. I recognize the desert highway where Bella abandoned me. But this time I pull over by choice. The Arizona sunset spills red and gold,